welcome back.
We are kicking it with the Cly Moms, and today we're doing
A Never Have I Ever Homeschool Edition. Dirt dishing, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell on myself. You might be surprised. If you know me, you won't.
This is true. But we're trying to keep it real and
Yeah, put a little honesty out there.
all right. You ready?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. So the orange is I have not, correct?
Great. I have not, or I have.
So, yeah, let's get started.
All right. Never have I ever forgotten to make a lesson plan.
Of course I have. Of course I have. More than I probably have forgotten more lesson plans than I have remembered. They get done in a frantic Monday morning frenzy, and then I fix it Monday night for the rest of the week.
I have to be a little bit more careful. I don't forget that often, but it has definitely happened because I have been working in the mornings and I have gotten that call, Mommy, where are my lesson plans for the week? And I said, okay, you're going to do this, this, and this, and just had to tell her on FaceTime what her lessons for the morning are because I can't really fix it once I'm at work. So I have had a couple of those phone calls first thing in the morning, like, hello, what are you doing? Where's my stuff? So they've definitely done it. It's a little like I have to remember Sunday night because I'm leaving in the morning. So
See, I'm working, but I'm working from home. So I can do the whole get started on the virtual things that you do, that a website guides you through it, and I'll take a quick break and get that put together for you. All right, the next one. Gone 3 weeks or more without checking completed work. So
I'm both because I've done it for certain subjects and not for others.
I have done it for full subject. I'm there right now. We're at the end of the school year. She's finishing up one subject, and I have not looked at least 3 weeks worth of stuff.
Her spelling gets checked really easily because she actually checks her own. I give her the test and then she checks it. I give her the sheet. Her language arts, I kind of check it as I'm getting the next week going. So it's like a real easy check for me.
To be fair, math is online, and she's been doing language arts online as well. So I check those, but by checking those, I mean I log in and I see that she's been doing work and it doesn't look terrible, and I move on.
So that's actually the one I'm the worst at, is checking her online math. Because she's just going, and so I forget that I need to get in and log in and check how she's doing in it because I get a weekly report. So I'm like, oh, okay, she mastered some skills. Okay, good. But I forget to
I pretty much check it when the weekly report comes in. I'm like, oh, look at that. She's doing things.
That's the one I forget, and then I go, oh shoot, I need to check XYZ on that. So the other ones are a little easy because as I'm doing the next week, they're right there. Because she usually does the week, and then I check the whole week. So
yeah, that's the way it started. And then now she sticks her completed stuff in random spots. Like when I do get to it to go look at it, I'm like, where's week 27 of social studies? And she's like, I don't know. That was 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, well, put your stuff in the folders that I gave you.
Right.
And then she has to look for it. And then by the time we find it, I don't have time to look anymore. So it starts again.
Right.
It's a whole cycle.
All right. Never have I ever scratched a whole assignment because I didn't understand it either. I have one particular social studies assignment that I looked at it and I looked at it and I looked at it with her and I went, I have no idea what they're asking you to do. And it was something in the directions and I just went, cross it out. And she went, really? Just get rid of it. It's not important. Usually I try to look at them ahead and make sure that I know what's going on and what's expected of her because that's not really fair. But she was like, I don't understand. And I went, it's because it's confusing. I don't understand either. So scratch it.
So originally I thought I have not done this because I tend to just reword them into something that I think is similar but makes sense. and still have her do something along the lines of what's being asked. But then I realized one thing I did do, which kind of falls in this category, is in the beginning of homeschooling, we tried really hard to get in the science labs. And then I realized I don't have most of the things that you need for 6th grade science, nor did I, during the workday, have time to do these things with her. And the original plan was, well, we'll bring it down, because they were like 3 a week. We'll bring it down to 1. We'll pick 1 a week. And then that eventually became none. We're not doing any of these. We're going to talk through what you think might have happened and what likely would have happened, and then we're going to move on with our life.
Right.
So I scratched those, not necessarily because I couldn't understand them, but I just could not make them work for us.
Right.
So we just got rid of them.
And with those, like, where you don't have all of the things for them, like, I'll find videos. And that's one of the things that I will, like, why don't you watch this kind of lab? So that's one of the things that I've done with her a lot with science is, like, watching a video that's doing the demonstration, and whether or not I can do that with her or not is a whole nother thing. But I think that they get a lot of the same things out of it.
It's a genius idea. I didn't think of that. I was just finally like, okay, well, let's talk about what you think would happen if we pushed this penny down a racetrack. Okay.
Yeah. I pull up a YouTube video. It's my best friend.
It's genius.
We actually end up
I'm gonna steal it.
Her science curriculum has a lot of videos because there's so many kids that are visual, and they know that it's like differentiated with all the different kinds of learners. So it's not, I can't take all the credit.
There might have been videos in hers. I really don't know. The science curriculum we used, I loved it, but it was also the teacher's aid part was set up a little funky, and I don't think I ever really got the hang of it.
Right.
So, you know.
We live and learn.
Live and learn. Something for next year.
Yeah, use different curriculum next year, figure it out for next year. We both jumped into this.
Yeah.
Like, halfway through the school year. So, can plan over the summer for some of these things.
Planning. We'll see how that goes. Oh, what's next? Never have I ever realized I forgot an entire subject for a week.
I just forgot to write it in her plan the entire week. Because usually I do like Monday, and then I kind of copy down for the rest of the week and just keep going forward with what she needs. And I forgot the subject on Monday, and we got to the weekend, and I was like, we forgot. I didn't write it down all week. And she was like, I wondered. I just thought I didn't have to do it.
I love that she was just like, I assumed you were correct. My bad.
I guess I don't have to do it this week.
So I have not done this because when I started homeschooling, this was one of my huge fears, is that I would lose track of an entire subject, because anybody who knows me knows this is right up my alley. And my child would not tell me. She would know she was supposed to do it and think it was hilarious that I had forgotten.
Yeah, she would. She would think it was real funny.
Yeah. Even if it meant she had to like cram to get it done, it would be worth it to make fun of me.
Well, because we did the work. It's just,
So what I did is I set up her planner when we were using the planner, because the last month or so of school, the planner just got chucked out the window. But the original setup, I put them all down in the same order every week, in the same lines, and I wrote them in before I wrote any assignments to make sure that I had all of the subjects covered and then what we were going to do for it. So I did not do this, and it's possibly one of my proudest homeschool facts.
That's good.
I did a lot of things wrong, but I nailed that one.
Heck yes. Yeah. And that's a whole other video, is how we plan for the week for homeschool. Because that's
it's a
thing. Yeah. All right. Never have I ever forgotten to wake up the kid until 10 a.m. Okay. So for me, this is I have not, with a caveat.
I think mine's a straight I have not. But to be fair, it was kind of cheating this year because I had one homeschooling and one doing virtual school, and I woke them up at the same time.
Right.
So it wasn't like both of them were flexible. I had to get Audrey up, so you might as well go in and get Maddie up.
So, my I have not is that I'm not here when it's time for her to wake up. I've gone to work already, so my husband gets her up. And Dad has definitely done this where he'll go in and wake her up and then go get on his meetings because he's just working from home, and he'll go on his meeting and come back in an hour later and she's gone back to sleep and nobody's realized that she's not doing her school yet, which makes for a really fun afternoon. Mm-hmm. She realizes how much she has left to do. Mm-hmm. I think after that she set an alarm for a while.
Yeah, that's probably a good plan. Let's see. Never have I ever, speaking of dads, never have I ever made Dad teach a lesson because I didn't want to.
My husband is a scientist. He loves physics. He can go on and on and on about physics. And I like science, but I don't have a degree in science. He loves it. And I'm like, why don't you do science this week? And I've been like, here you go. Here's your lesson. And handed him the lesson plans because, don't know if it's truly that I don't want to, but it's like, here, you do it. It's your turn. You do this.
I'm done with this. You do this. I have not. My husband is a general contractor by trade, and we don't do wood shop. So
I think we should.
Maybe we should. Next year we teach them all how to build a birdhouse, and then. But I didn't realize this was an option until this question. And now I'm thinking, next year I might. And also just realized that I can make Jason teach science. So when we do this again at the end of next year, I plan to change this to I have, and I don't just mean their dad. I have made dads teach lessons I don't want to teach.
Yes. Heck yes.
So new plans.
New plans. Jason gets to teach science.
Heck yes.
All right. Never have I ever let my child watch TV all day while she's doing her school.
I have. It's recent. Our house has been some big changes. It's been in a bit of chaos recently. And she's down to right now she's down to one subject. She was down to 2.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? As long as you're getting it done by the time we have to leave for ski, you do you. Watch what you want to watch. Realize that in a month or so, I'm going to go over this. And we're going to have to go through it if you did crazy stuff. But these last couple weeks, I have not had the energy to care what she's doing as long as she's getting it done. No shame.
Mine almost always has an audiobook going while she's doing her work. But that's as close as we get because that's just not really a thing for her. It's just not her thing either. I don't think she could focus enough. I think she knows that. So, all right, last one.
Never have I ever let my child sit outside to school.
All the time. She loves to sit out on our side porch. She loves to sit out at the table in the back. And now that it's nicer, even some of the days, it was just a lot to be inside all day, especially before we switched to homeschool, actually, when she was on virtual school, just to have something else to look at besides her room. Because she likes to school in her room, but then she moves out. She likes to go take her stuff out there, and she and her dad sometimes will sit there and he'll be on a meeting and she'll be doing her school, and they'll sit next to each other. And
so I have not, but it's not that I wouldn't let them. They don't ask. Our house is not, we don't really have any shaded areas, and you can, middle of the day, you cannot see your computer screen.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't really ask to go outside because it's not worth it.
Right.
I kind of expected when it got warm for them to ask to sit under the giant tree, picnic style, but I think they didn't think about it, and I never thought to offer it, so
right.
They didn't do it. But I would totally let them I don't care where they do it as long as they do it. Obviously, I let them do it in front of the TV. I don't care as long as it gets done.
Yeah.
Anywhere, as long as it's not in the middle of the road, I'm happy.
Right. It's one of the really nice benefits of homeschool, honestly, is letting them do school kind of where they want. We school in the car a lot, actually. because we drive a distance for skate, so a lot of ours is in the car, but
I have forgot a whole subject, kind of.
busted!
It wasn't that I didn't assign it. So originally, Maddie's curriculum included French. And we did what we called car French. And she had to do her French work in the car on the way to skate. We did really good with it for about half a year. So that would be a quarter, in case you're keeping up with the math.
Doing French at
We
all.
were. She was doing French.
Should make my mom teach Kaylee French.
Yeah.
She has a bachelor's degree in
We
French.
should make her teach both of them
Yes.
French. But she was doing French, and she was doing really well with it for a long time. And then all of a sudden, we kept forgetting, and I was putting it in her binder, and she had to check it off because she had to do 3 days of French, but she was allowed to pick which of the 4 days we were driving a good distance to get to the rink that she was going to do the
Right.
French. And then it slowly just kind of filtered its way out.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot about it,
Right.
to the point where, like, I didn't really consider it a subject anymore. She still
Right.
does it occasionally. Like, she's kept up with what she learned, but she hasn't learned anything new in months because she just doesn't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it was actually her choice. She debated
that's
between
cool.
French and Latin.
Right?
Ended up choosing French.
Mm-hmm.
And then a friend of ours is a Latin teacher. And she said she wanted to do French for this year, and she would look at maybe Latin for 7th grade and having him teach her.
Right.
But I don't know where she stands on that because I completely forgot about the foreign language option. So I take it back.
You have
I
done that
have
one.
forgotten a whole subject.
Until I mentioned school in the car.
Yep.
Just now you remembered that subject.
Just now I remembered we were supposed to be doing French all year. I think I even told her school district that French was part of her curriculum.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's not
Oops.
required by the state of Ohio to do a language at 6th grade, so
no,
they were.
we were doing extra, so we did it, okay? No judgy. I think
That's all for today.
Yeah.
I think. See you next time.
see you next time, guys.
Bye.
Have a good summer.
Heck yes.
Do something fun and don't plan too much.
New segment time.
Yeah, we're back. You thought the video was over. You were wrong. Gotcha. So we are going to start adding a recommendations section to our videos. We could be recommending homeschool stuff, curriculums, supplies.
Just fun mom things, honestly. Any of
Yeah.
the things that we use that help us out in our lives in general. Just things we love.
Things to keep your sanity.
They're not sponsored. They're just things that we love and we thought that other people might like to hear about.
Yep. No sponsors.
So today we're talking
Unless
about.
you want to be.
Yeah, if you want to sponsor us, do it.
Right?
I'm talking to you, Tycon
Right.
pencils.
I'm talking to you.
We are recommending the math program that we've been using this year. It's called Prodigy. I heard about it. I work for the school district and they were using it with the kids, and the kids were struggling to get off of it to focus on their other lessons because they were obsessed with a math program.
Right. My
Okay.
kids used it in school and like came home like, we want you to buy us the premium membership to this math program. And I'm like, the time I was like, you want me to do what?
Right? Yeah, so I mean, literally, I kept hearing her teacher like, "Get off Prodigy! I can see you guys are in Prodigy. Get off Prodigy! You got to go back to we're reading a book. We're doing a lesson. We're not supposed to be in the math program right now." And I was like, "We got to use this. We need to keep using it." So it's engaging, and it's really fun for the kids. They're playing games the whole time, but they have to solve math at their level.
Our homeschool girls have been told that they are no longer required to do it daily, but they're still getting on FaceTime and playing Prodigy together, even though we're a week into our summer break.
Right. They do it in the car on the way to Kentucky when we drive together down to skate.
My youngest virtual kid doesn't have to do this at all, but I bought her the membership because it was cheaper to buy it with her sisters than
Right.
and
It's
She
not
likes it.
expensive either.
No, it wasn't
It's
expensive.
really reasonable, and you don't have to have the premium membership. That just gives us access to see what they're doing.
Right.
But you can
If
do
you're
it.
doing homeschool, I
Yeah.
fully suggest getting the premium
Definitely.
membership. But if your kids are in a public school or a structured school, it's still great. And
It's good enrichment over the summer for kids. They're
Mhm.
playing a game.
keeping that like math part of their brain active. So
It's a rec.
Prodigy,
Yeah.
it's our first rec.
Bye.
Now you actually get to go. Bye.